Well, hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being here tonight at our Connect group. My name is Dominic Insenius. I'm the leader here at The Heart, and I'm so grateful for you to be here tonight. Did you know that you are sitting right in the middle of the mission and the vision that we have here at The Heart, and that is to connect people to the heart of God? And we believe that that happens best in groups. Now, the way these groups work is we have a few questions that are loosely based on the message that we had on Sunday morning. And if you weren't able to be there or you haven't listened to the podcast, it's no problem. You can still be a part of the conversation. These questions are created to be able to help us kind of walk through this journey of faith. So if you have something to say that is outside of the questions, please feel free. The questions are only here to serve us. We're not here to serve the questions. So let them be just a guide in facilitating conversation. But if there's anything that you want to share or that you need prayer for, or any of that, please feel free to bring that up. And we all want to partner with you in praying to God for healing or for grace or for whatever it is that you are needing. We want to be able to be there for you in that. Now, we just started a brand new message series this past Sunday called Spiritual Dysmorphia. And with this series, what we're trying to do is take a look in the mirror, the spiritual mirror that we have in front of us. We want to be able to look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves, where we are, where we stand spiritually. What are some things that we believe? What have we believed growing up? What has stayed the same? What has changed? And how can we grow to have the faith that we want to have? How can we grow to have the relationship with God that we hope to have? And that's what we want to do throughout this series, is kind of take a look in the mirror and take a real honest look of where we are and where we could be. Now, this past week, what we did is we dug into two scriptures. One is in Romans and one is in 2 Corinthians. So I want to encourage you to look through those and read through those together. And I'll have them up on the screen here in a little bit. But what we try to look at is that when we become our true selves, we become a genuine expression of worship to God. Not by what we say or what we do or the right behavior. It's just finding out who we really are and being okay with being that person. And the way we can do that is by surrendering ourselves, surrendering our life to God, and making a step towards Jesus and towards what Jesus has already said about us, who he has already invited us to be. And that is a way that we can step into that true worship and how we can truly be ourselves. And that's the foundation that we want to lay. Now, before we can find out who we really are, before we can discover who we are, what we have to be able to do is take that honest look at ourselves. So our first question tonight, I want to know, is how in your life, maybe describe a time. So let's describe a time in your life when you felt that you changed the way you acted, or you changed something about yourself because of some expectation, either that someone put on you or an expectation that you put on yourself. You changed something about yourself because of some expectation. And I want to know how that affected you and what was the situation and, what ended up happening because of that. And before we do all this, I want to encourage you to be brave and to be bold, because when you share from your heart, you help all of us take steps in our journey of faith. And that's what we're all trying to do, is take steps one day at a time. And that's the power of these groups, to be able to be there for each other. So let's take some time, dig into that together, and let's see what you guys come up with. All right, now for the second question, what I want to do is maybe look back in your past. And when you were a kid growing up, I want to know what or who helped to shape the beliefs that you have or that you had growing up. And what, if anything, has changed since you grew up. As far as the spiritual beliefs that you had. Maybe you grew up going to church and believing in God, and you had someone in your life that helped you find those beliefs, and maybe something has changed since then, or maybe someone encouraged you, or maybe made you think there was no God, or that church was a waste of time, or that church people were awful, and something has changed growing up. You saw that church wasn't so bad. Or so I want to know is, as you were growing up, what or who helped to shape your spiritual beliefs, and what, if anything, has changed from when you were growing up to now? So let's take a few minutes and to dig into that together. All right, now for this next question, I want to understand a little bit about the real you. And no matter where we are in our life, whether we're in middle school, high school, university, we're newly married, we have young kids, or our kids are grown and we're looking at retirement, no matter where you are in your life, There have been bits along the way where you have discovered a little bit of the real you. Maybe it was hanging out with someone who just got you, and you understood that you didn't have to try to do something to be loved, and people would love you for who you were. What I want to know is what or who has helped you to find or discover the real you. Maybe it's a book that you read, or a podcast, or a friendship, or a brother or a sister, or whatever it is. Let's kind of talk through that together, because when we can understand what helps us find the real us, then we can take even further steps to dig deeper into the real us. So let's take some time and talk through that together. All right, now for tonight's last question, what we try to do when it comes to these questions is it's all about applying this into our life. We can learn more and we can become Bible scholars, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if we aren't able to take what we read and what we learn and what we listen to and apply it into our life, then we are missing out on the life change that can come from reading the Bible, from following Jesus, from knowing God. I sometimes say that it's great to know more about God, but what we really want to do is know God more. So as we look forward to this coming week, the next 7 days, the next couple of days, whatever it is I want to know this week, how will you choose to be honest with yourself about where you are spiritually, about where you are in your spiritual life, your spiritual journey, and where and how will you be honest with yourself about who you are and about who God has made you to be. So these scriptures that we went over tonight, man, feel free to write those down or put those in your phone and look over them this week. What does it mean to be a genuine expression of worship to God simply by being who we are? What does it mean to surrender who we are, surrender what we want for what God wants for us? These are the steps we can take. So how will you be honest with yourself this week about where you are spiritually and about who God made you to be? So this is the last question for tonight. So I'm going to leave you with this. I want to let you know that in a couple of weeks, Thanksgiving is going to be here. If you haven't made plans or haven't talked to your family, give them a call, shoot them a text tonight, tell them that you love them, remind them that you haven't forgot about them. I promise they will love you and appreciate you for it. Now, Thanksgiving week, we're going to cancel all of Connect groups, okay? So there'll be no Connect groups that week. Go home and visit your family, all of that, except Monday, that Monday of Thanksgiving week, that is November the 19th, we are going to have an all groups get together, a groups giving, Friendsgiving, a Thanksgiving dinner at our house, mine and Amber's house at 314 Magnolia Street here in San Marcos. Everyone is invited. We'll have turkey and stuffing, and everybody bring your favorite sides and your favorite cranberry sauce or whatever it is, and we'll have a huge get-together here and just enjoy each other's company and have a good time. It's a great time to bring friends who've been thinking about church maybe, but don't want to jump into anything super spiritual or super religious. It's a great time to be able to just hang out and really get to know everyone. So that's November the 19th, and you'll get more details on that, and you'll see probably an email and a text message, and we'll remind you over the next couple of weeks, but I wanted to let you know that that's coming your way. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I love you too much, and we'll see you so soon. This Sunday, 9:30 and 11, we're continuing our message series in spiritual dysmorphia. We'll see you guys there. Love you. Okay, bye.